archers, and my dear brethren in Christ. It is the season of joy and celebration, right? Everywhere you look, there is lights, color, and music. And I'm sure we all are preparing ourselves for Christmas, right? Beginning from decorating our homes to decorating our churches, and then start shopping ahead of time of Christmas to stock up your pantry with food, drinks, and especially buying erchi before Christmas, because when you go back home, you need to have a good feast, right? That's with the assumption someone is taking Noam. If not, the party has already begun. Right? So now I joke around these things at a micro level. There is something more concerning that is happening at a macro level. There is a slow, and a vicious shift in paradigm from the way we traditionally celebrate Christmas and we say Merry Christmas, to going to Happy Holidays. It's the holiday season, right? And this concerns me a lot, and probably this is the reason somebody coined the term, Jesus is the reason for this season. Now this is not unique to our times. It even happened when Christ himself was born. And I would like to take you all during that time to show you who missed Christmas or who missed the birth of Christ during Christ's birth. And the reason I'm taking that is because the scenario in which that happened is still relevant to all our lives. The first person who missed Christ during his birth was the innkeeper. Now you all know Joseph and Mary were traveling from their home in Nazareth. They were going to Bethlehem because Caesar had put a decree that you have to go and register yourself for the census, right? And so Bethlehem is a crowded city. It's a happening city like we are right now. Right? It's very happening. The economics is good. The business is going great. But when the pregnant Mother Mary comes during her labor time asking for a room, the innkeeper says there is no room. And I'll actually quote, it's in St. Luke's chapter 2 verse 7. There was no room for them in the inn. Many a times in our lives too, when things are going good, when the business is good, you're happy in your life, everything is going good, there is no room for Christ in our lives. When things are going bad, we call Christ. But when things are going good, there is no room for Christ. So my first question for you tonight that I want you all to reflect on is, do you have room for Christ in your heart and your lives? The second person who missed Christ was King Herod. And I'll quote a small part from the Bible, right? The wise men from the east, and this is St. Matthew chapter 2-3. The wise men from the east came to Jerusalem saying, where is he who has been born of the King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled and all of Jerusalem with him. Now, I'm just imagining how Herod would have felt, right? Somebody is coming and telling, hey, the king is born. And Herod is like, what? I'm the king here. What are you talking about, right? I rule this nation. I rule this place. Who else can be king over here? And hence he was troubled. Many a times in our lives too, we give priority to those things. We want to be the king of our life, right? And we give priorities to so many things. Be it money, be it our career, be it our ambitions, be it our plans, be it a big house, a big car. Everything is a priority. It's okay for me to keep Jesus in the vicinity till the time he does not rule my life. So my second question for you tonight that I want you to reflect on is, are you willing to submit yourselves to Jesus? Because as in the Bible we must have heard, he who seeks him and his kingdom, everything else will be added to him, right? Now the third one is really interesting. Probably you won't catch it easily in the Bible, right? And I'll continue reading the scene. St. Matthew chapter 2-3. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. Now this is interesting. I call this group of people the religious people. Now when I say religious and you heard scribes and the chief priests, you all are like, oh, you're an Achan Kurchi Parenbova. Well, Achans are religious. They fall in that category. But there is something very interesting that you won't catch here. So let me go back to the passage. What did the wise men ask Herod? Where is the king of the Jews? What did Herod ask his Pharisees and the scribes? Where is Christ? He was asked, where is the king? And what he asked. Now the scribes are the chief priests, right? They're the chief priests, but the scribes are people. They're like Jewish record keepers. So all they do is they write down or copy manuscripts and the religious texts. And he is asking them, where is Christ? By this itself, I can say that I attach Herod also to the religious group because he knows his scriptures. Or else he wouldn't, when he was asked about king, he wouldn't say, where is Christ? He could make that connection. So he knew the scriptures himself. So that is one thing that I wanted to bring your attention in this third point. And when he asked this question to the chief priests and all of the scribes, what did they immediately reply? In Bethlehem in Judah. So the scribes also knew the text, right? So he knew where the king was to be born. Now many a times, but they did not make an attempt to go and see Christ. Now Bethlehem is not far away from Jerusalem. It's like 8 kilometers. You can easily cover that in a day. It's south, it's in a hill country, but it's only 8 kilometers south of Jerusalem, or Herod's palace, which is also in Jerusalem. But they did not make an attempt. God lead you to the living word. Again, you're missing Christ this Christmas. Unless your knowledge of the Bible makes you lead a deeper walk with Christ in His life, you are missing Christmas. I will take this a little far. I'll stretch it a little, and I'll actually tell you. It is better to know less and seek Christ than to know more and stay away from Christ. With that, my reflection question on that would be, are you intentionally seeking Christ this Christmas? I would like to end my message with one final reflection that I want you all to carry home tonight. You may have everything this season, but you may still be missing Christ this Christmas. If yes, it's not too late. Seek Him and all the other things will be added to you. So let us all truly make Jesus the reason for this season. Thank you and God bless.